or else you're a terrorist, and they can hurt you, because we hurt terrorists. Listen to America's new Grand Inquisitor, Adam Schiff of California.
We have been urging for some time that the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security raise the priority to domestic terrorism, to white nationalism as it threatens the country. And we're going to continue sounding the alarm and make sure that they're devoting the resources, the time, the attention, just as we did after 9/11 to the threat from international terrorism. We need to give the same priority and urgency to domestic terrorism.
Got that? Vote the wrong way, and you are a jihadi. You thought you were an American citizen with rights and just a different view, but no, you're a jihadi. And we're going to treat you the way we treated those radicals after 9/11, the way we treated bin Laden. Get in line, pal. This is a war on terror. Keep in mind, as you listen to people talk like this, and Adam Schiff is far from the only one, keep in mind, they're talking about American citizens here. They're talking about you. But nobody seems to notice or care. The real threat is a forbidden idea. It's something called QAnon.
Next, what to do about QAnon and its droves of loyal followers. Is it too little, too late to bring our loved ones back to reality?
Many of those who believe the totally unfounded conspiracies and prophecies of QAnon expected January 20th to be Judgment Day.
As far-right figures and QAnon conspiracy theorists are joined by Trump supporters who believe the election was stolen.
QAnon is better viewed as an on-ramp to various different extremism circles.
How many people in the country have been marinated in these conspiracy theories, QAnon craziness, and it is frightening.
Ooh, Mr. Tom Friedman thinks this is all pretty frightening. And he's right, but not, as usual, for the reasons he thinks. We're watching a profound change taking place in American society, and it's happening very fast. The stakes could not be higher. There's a clear line between democracy and tyranny, between self-government and dictatorship. And here's what that line is. That line is your conscience. They cannot cross that. Government has every right to tell you what to do. Controlling the behavior of citizens is one of the basic prerogatives of any organized society. It's why we have it. Government can try to prevent you from committing murder or rape or from speeding or jaywalking. That's all allowed. It's legitimate. But no democratic government can ever tell you what to think. Your mind belongs to you. It is yours and yours alone. Once politicians attempt to control what you believe, they are no longer politicians. They are, by definition, dictators. And if they succeed in controlling what you believe, you are no longer a citizen. You are not a free man. You are a slave. So yes, Tom Friedman, this is frightening. It's everywhere all of a sudden. No one is pushing back. Instead, they have almost every one of them, join the mob of censors, hysterics, and Jacobin destroyers, all working on behalf of entrenched power to take total control of everything. Well, it looks like this is the part of the revolution where they start throwing their political opponents in jail. Wow, that was fast. It was just a week ago they were telling us about unity. Remember that? What we didn't know at the time is they meant that everyone with power should unite against the rest of the country. Unity meant oligarchy. Oh. Doug Mackey learned that the hard way this morning. Mackey is a 31-year-old conservative journalist from Florida. At 7 a.m., FBI agents showed up at Mackey's house. They threw him in handcuffs and they dragged him to a cell. He now faces 10 years in prison. His crime? He made fun of powerful Democrats on social media. As the federal criminal complaint puts it, quote, Mackey made coordinated use of social media to spread disinformation relevant to the impending 2016 presidential election. This disinformation, the Biden administration solemnly explained, quote, often took the form of memes. Yes, memes. Online mockery. Mockery online is now illegal when it's aimed at the wrong people. Doug Mackey hurt their feelings, so they put him in jail. According to Joe Biden's Justice Department, Doug Mackey violated 18 U.S. Code Section 241. He did this by tricking people, like the dastardly trickster that he is, into not voting in the presidential election. What's interesting is that prosecutors showed no evidence whatsoever that Doug Mackey actually tricked anyone into anything, voting or not a single person. But that doesn't shriek CNN. Doug Mackey is a bad person with bad views. And by the way, we have no idea what Doug Mackey's views are. We don't care. What CNN is telling us is that those views are a crime. He's a criminal. Lock him up. Give him a longer sentence than we give to rapists, which they're trying to do. As of tonight, that is the official position of the Lynch Mob channel. But hold on a minute. As a legal matter, Have you ever read 18 U.S. Code Section 241? Probably not, but you should. Look it up. When you read it, you will learn that Joe Biden's Justice Department is lying in a very obvious way, and that should make you very nervous. It turns out that federal law does not ban memes, or for that matter, misinformation, whatever that is. The law that Biden's prosecutors are citing instead prohibits, quote, conspiring to injure, oppress, threaten, or intimidate anyone from exercising the right to vote. According to the law, that would include kidnapping voters, invading their homes, sexually abusing them. Doug Mackey didn't do any of that, not even close to any of that. Doug Mackey made memes. Therefore, he's a domestic terrorist. Speech is violence, dissent is a felony. What, you may be wondering, does a case like this mean for the First Amendment? Well, it means that it's effectively suspended. You can now be arrested for saying the wrong things, and at 7 a.m. this morning, one journalist actually was arrested for that. Almost no one tonight seems to be defending him. He had bad thoughts. He deserves it. They think it's okay, and that shouldn't surprise you, because we're clearly living under some form of martial law at the moment. How do we know that? Well, here's one indication. There are nearly 10,000 federal troops in our capital city tonight. Ooh, that's a hint. This new version of democracy is a democracy where everyone fervently agrees with the people in power, or else they go immediately to jail. Doug Mackey's problem, it turns out, is that he didn't properly understand what democracy is. You may have thought you were a decent American in good standing. 10 years ago, nobody in this country would have called your views extreme. They weren't extreme then. You don't think they're extreme now? You've always considered yourself a pretty moderate person. Live your life and get along with others. Oh, that's not possible now because the rules have changed. You are now a dangerous insurgent. You are no different from a bloodthirsty Pashtun in Helmand province or an ISIS terrorist in Erbil. You're part of a guerrilla insurgency. Or maybe it's a gorilla consurgency. That's possible, too. Have you seen the pictures from January 6th? Back during the great terrorist siege of January 6th, Sandy Cortez found herself in the same city as Chewbacca Guy. Literally in the same city. Trapped and abandoned, just like those lonely, valiant troops in Corregidor so many years ago. She really thought she was going to die.
I had a pretty traumatizing event happen to me. I can tell you that I had a very close encounter where I thought I was going to die.
So thankfully, they've arrested Chewbacca Guy and the rest of his marauding band of terrorists, many of them well over 65 years old. So there's still a little justice in this country.